Epic conversation. Here it is. I'm out here cutting on this grass. But while I'm out here putting this work in, it occurred to me to share this word with y'all, man, today. So it's a lot of stuff that went on in the Bible in heaven before the creation of the of earth, before it's the physical manifestation of earth. Also, when we read in the book of Revelations, I'm getting right to it. I'm jumping right in. When we read the book of Revelation and we read, let's take for example the war in heaven, and we read verse and then we read the next verse sequentially. And the events that are described taking place in the book of Revelation, though we read them sequentially back to back, the manifestation of them physically may take thousands of years for each event described, because God called his light day, and there is no sun in the spiritual realm, so there is no time as we know it in the physical realm. So when we read Revelation, we have to keep in mind that we are reading about things transpiring in the spiritual realm, and they don't necessarily happen one day this happened and then the next day this happened here in the physical realm. So with this understanding in mind, the war in heaven that took place before creation, during creation, and after. One of the things I wanted to get to, though, the main point I wanted to share with you, is there is a set of events described in the spiritual realm. In the kingdom of heaven, there are spiritual beings, many spiritual beings, and they have ranks and positions and different functions in the kingdom. And some of those were responsible for taking the praise of the beings that they were over, that they commanded, and give them to God. And it's described in the book of Revelation that one of these angelic beings had one of the bowls full of the smoke of the praise of the saints, of these angelic beings, and he would present this to God in his throne on his altar. But instead, this angel took the bowl, the golden censer with the smoke going up that was the praise of the saints, and threw it down to the earth. And there were lightnings and rumblings in the throne, in the seat of God. God didn't like that. So the reason that this was a problem is because what was in the golden censer was praise. And this angel took the praise that was due to God and threw it down to the earth. This was a problem because all praise belongs to God. All praise is due to God, and God alone is his. So the reason we have some of the troubles that we have is because we be down here looking for some praise instead of doing the work that we're here to do. And ain't none of the praise ours. If you get some praise, if we get some praise, it can only come from God because it belongs to him. It's his. All of it is his. So if you get any praise in this world, it must come from God. If you expecting praise from anywhere else, we tripping, because it's not ours. It's not meant for us to have. It's God's. But we'll put in some work and we'll make moves and say and do things to receive what's rightfully God's and God's alone, and it causes problems. We should not be seeking praise here. But the result of this angelic being throwing this golden censer full of the praises that were due to God down to the earth is that people would seek to be praised ones. People would seek to be praised. We will become aware of this thing called praise and want it for ourselves, even though we shouldn't have it. And so the result was a whole group of people that became to be known as praise ones. And the word Jew or Judah, that has to do with praise. The praise ones, the people of praise. All praise is due to God. It's His. And so this angel, this is who I believe the angel, the Bible is describing what Lucifer did to start this, to crank the war up when he opposed the creation of mankind in the physical realm and mankind being given rule over it. The way he kicked it off to ruin that plan was that he made that move. Instead of him doing his job in the spiritual realm, he threw it down to the earth. And it's another event described where there's an angelic being here on this on the earth, and he got one foot on the land and the other foot on the sea. And he got the rainbow on his head, and he put one hand to the sky and like roar and say there should be time no longer. I believe that this is Satan, and he's down here and he gets cast down on this earth, and he yell out, it's still on. It's still on. It ain't stopping. The rainbow on his head, his bow. You remember he said, I'm gonna put my bow in the sky after he caused the flood, tried to kill everybody but his line. Yeah, we'll dig into it. He said, I'm gonna put my bow in the sky to remind me not to do that to y'all again. But when he roared with his one foot on the land and the other foot on the sea, he roared, 7 thunders answered back. But it was told to the writer to seal up what the voices of the 7 thunders uttered in response to this roar, like a lion that he let out, 1 foot on the land and 1 foot on the sea. My reasoning for this is an angelic being that's doing the will of God is not down here roaring with one hand up in the air and declaring, swearing, or whatever it is, that there should be time no longer, like he down here calling shots. I don't see an angelic being that's doing the will of God moving like that. And remember, Lucifer is described as with beauty and legs of fire and countenance like the sun and a rainbow over your head would be a very beautiful image, if you can imagine such. But yeah, like when it was talking about the woman and the dragon that's described in the book of Revelation, these things happen over a period of time, before time, during creation, and after. These are not events that are described taking place in the end time, and this one day this happened and the next day that happened. It's been ongoing for thousands of years. What's described in the book of Revelation has been going on since creation. What we're investigating is, where are we in our time in the book of Revelation? What's going on right now? And that's what we're gonna get into the next time I come back. But yeah, I just wanted to put that our praise is God's. It's our Father. It belongs to our Father. So we should not seek it. Don't seek his praise. Give him his due. Don't withhold it. Give it to him. And if you're looking for any praise, look for it to come from God. It's his. It belongs to him. You can't get it nowhere else but from him. Worldly praise ain't praise. It's not praise. It may be recognition. It may be acceptance. It may be celebration. But it's on our praise is God's. So if it's coming from the world, it ain't God's. You want it to come from God. Whatever we receive while we do our work, we want what God has for us to have. And what belongs to God, we must give it to him. Willingly, with a happy heart. Gladly. But next time I get on here, we're going to break down the book of Revelation. I'm going to describe to you some of the things that's taking place before creation. And I'm going to break down how the things that are described, one verse of the events in the book of Revelation described may have taken place over a period of thousands of years in the physical realm. And the kingdom of heaven has millions and millions, perhaps even billions of beings, angelic beings. They have different functions. And yeah, when they manifest on people, they manifest on a lot of people at one time. We'll get to it. We'll get to that. I just wanted to put that out there. It's a quick one. You know, we ain't gonna go too long with it. But yeah, man, all praise is to God. All of it.